everyone. Okay, we're going to start our first book together. The title is Junie B, First Grader, At Last. Some of you may have enjoyed some Junie B books last year in kindergarten. So they did continue the series. This time she's going to be in first grade. She grows up just a little bit, and they do a different approach when they write the chapters. Each chapter is going to start with a journal entry that Junie B is writing for her teacher. So if you see that it looks like a notebook page, it looks like handwriting instead of like normal text when it just looks like the computer typed it. You can see both of them here. You can see the book part where her journal and then the text from the author. Okay, so that's one way when you're reading those stories that you can tell who's talking whenever you're reading. There are a few pictures. I will share those as they come. If I'm able to show both at the same time, then I will do that. I also want to make sure you realize that this is a chapter book, so we're only reading one part of the book today. If we look at the table of contents, you can see that there's 8 chapters. So it's going to take us several days to read this book together. I hope you continue to come back and join us on the bookshelf in the virtual classroom to find the next chapter. All right. Since the title of the book is Junie B, I'm guessing that's going to be my main character. Remember, the characters are the actors in the story. Who is doing stuff in the story? Are they animals doing things, talking? Are there people talking? What are the characters? So Junie B is our main character. That's who our story is mostly about. Chapter 1, First Grade Surprises. Thursday. Dear First Grade Journal, yesterday was the first day of school. It is new here. Today, my teacher handed out these journals. He's making us write in these things. Only I don't even know what to write. My teacher has muscles and a mustache, and his name is Mr. Scary. He made that name up, I believe. I'm not even scared of him, hardly. From Junie B, first grader. So some of you guys met me yesterday. What did you think? Maybe you had an idea of what I would look like or sound like or act like. Was it the same? Who knows? I put down my pencil and I looked at what I wrote. I did a sigh. I'd like to go home now, I said to just myself. Shh, said a girl named May. I'm still trying to do my work. May sits next to me in the back of the room. I do not actually care for that girl. Just then, my teacher stood up at his desk. His mustache smiled real friendly. Okay, boys and girls, you can stop writing now, he said. As I told you earlier, we will be working in our journals quite often this year. In fact, it won't be long until your journal starts feeling like an old friend. So I sent a journal home with you guys. We had made the first 5 pages where we kind of started you off writing, but pretty soon you'll be able to write more about what you choose. I rolled my eyes at the ceiling. What kind of old friend looks like a notebook, I said. Shh, said May again. You shouldn't talk while the teacher's talking, Junie Jones. I looked at her real annoyed. B, I said. My name is Junie B. I think I've told you that before, May. I leaned closer to her face. B, 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 I said. And after that, I just slumped in my seat and I put my head on my desk. How many of you guys have a name that's a little harder to pronounce maybe, and sometimes people say it wrong or have to ask you how to say it? I know my name's not hard to say, but it's hard to spell sometimes, so people ask me a lot. They're really not trying to be mean or rude. They just want to make sure that they do it right for you. I peeked at the other children who sit near me. Their names were Herb and Lenny and Jose. I do not know them from a hole in the ground. I did another sigh. First grade was not all it was cracked up to be. My room is named Room 1. Our name of our room is 105. I was nervous when I came here yesterday. That's how come Daddy had to carry me all the way to the room. My legs felt like squishy jello. He put me down outside the door. Well, here we are, Junie B, he said. First grade, at last. My stomach had flutterflies in it. Also, my arms had prickly goosebumps, and my forehead had drops of sweaty. I'm a wreck, I said. Daddy smiled very nice. There's nothing to worry about, Junie B. I promise, he said. You're going to love first grade. Just think. There's a whole roomful of brand new friends just waiting to meet you. He ruffled my hair. Are you ready to go now, he asked. Are you ready to begin your first grade adventure? I looked at him a real long time. Then I quick spun around and I zoomed down that hall as fast as I could. Daddy zoomed after me. He caught up with me speedy quick and he carried me back to my class. Only this time, he carried me straight into the room. As soon as he put me down again, I hid behind his legs, 'cause that place was a zoo, I tell you. There were people everywhere. There were girls and boys and mothers and daddies and grandmas and grandpas, plus also there were drooly babies and strollers. Then all of a sudden, my whole mouth came open. Because, good news, I finally saw someone I knew. I jumped up and down and all around. Daddy, 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 it's Lucille, I hollered. Remember Lucille? Remember? Lucille was my bestest friend from kindergarten last year. Lucille was standing at a desk next to the window. I ran to her in a jiffy and I hugged that girl and I couldn't even stop. Lucille, Lucille, it's me. It's your bestest friend from kindergarten, Junie B. Jones. I tried to pick her up. I'm so glad to see you, friend, I shouted real joyful. Lucille pulled my arms off of her. Now, yesterday when you came, I know that your other friends and classmates weren't here, but I know a lot of you were kind of asking who was in the class and if you were going to have anybody from your old kindergarten class. Why do you think you wanted someone from your kindergarten class to be in your first grade class? To make you feel a little safe, like you were at home, like you were comfortable? Sometimes it's scary when everything's new. We do have some people in our class that are new to Gilson Brown, so we welcome you to Gilson Brown, but it's a little scary because you don't really know anybody yet. But I promise, even though we're on the computer, we're going to do our best that we get to know each other, so when we do come back to school, we all have a friend that we can see whenever we show up and walk through that door. Stop it, Junie B, stop it, she said. You're wrinkling my new back-to-school dress. This thing cost a fortune. I stopped hugging her. Lucille smoothed and fluffed herself, so I smoothed and fluffed her too. There, I said, good as new. After that, I grabbed Lucille's hand and I started to pull. Come on, Lucille, let's go find two desks together, I said. I think we should sit near the door. You want to? Huh? If we sit near the door, we can stare at the people who walk down the hall. Lucille yanked her hand away. No, Junie B. No, I'm not going to sit at this. I'm going to sit at this desk right here, she said. I already picked it out with my two new friends, Camille and Chenille, and she pointed to the door. See them over there? I met them before you came. They were saying goodbye to their mother. Aren't they precious? I looked at Camille and Chenille, and guess what? My eyes popped right out of my head. What does that mean? Her eyes popped out of her head? That's disgusting. That's gross. What does that mean? It means her eyes got really big. You could see lots of whites around her eyes. That's what the author means when he says that. Because wowie, wow, those girls, Camille and Chenille, were twins. That's why. I sprang high in my chair. Twins? Twins? They're twins, Lucille? Oh, this is our lucky day. I pulled on her again. Come on, Lucille. Let's go touch them. I don't think we should be touching people. Hurry, before a line forms. Lucille did not budge a muscle. Stop it, Junie B. Quit pulling on me, she said. Camille and Chenille don't want to be touched. And besides, I am their new best friend, not you. Uh-oh. What do you think Junie B's feeling like now? Left out? Lucille's not being very nice. I look surprised at that girl. Yes, but I can be their bestest friend along with you. Right, Lucille? I asked. All I have to do is meet them, right? And then all of us can be bestest friends together. That sounds like a good plan to me, right? You don't have to have one best friend. You can have lots of good friends. Lucille shook her head. No, Junie B, I'm sorry, but you and I have already been best friends. Remember? She said, we were best friends for a whole long year, and so now it's time for Camille and Chenille to get a turn. She did a shrug. It's only fair of me, she said, and besides, their names rhyme with my name, and yours doesn't. She wrinkled her nose very cute. Camille and Chenille and Lucille. You see? Isn't that darling? After that, Lucille gave me a pat. Don't be sad, okay, she said. You and I can still be friends, Junie B, just not on a regular basis. After that, she waved her fingers and said, ta-ta, and she skipped to Camille and Chenille. Oh my. I don't know if I would be feeling very, very welcome if I was Junie B. That's really not how we want to treat our friends. We can all be friends. So we're going to get to know everybody. We're going to learn more about each of us. And then when we come back to school, we can all be friends and play together. But I do want you to join back on the video in a couple days. Check back and see if Chapter 2 is posted so we can see what happens for Junie B as she starts this new year in first grade. Bye.